Hi guys, welcome back to the Fiber and Fables podcast. My name is Jess. This is Summer. You can call me Fiber or Fables. I go by both. And as promised, we are going to be doing the Am I the Asshole crochet edition. So for those of you who don't know, Am I the Asshole is a thread on Reddit where people write in situations that they're in and they would like the internet to weigh in if they're in the wrong or not. So also just a disclaimer, this is meant to be lighthearted, not to be taken too deeply. So I had pulled just a couple off of Reddit, and I go by the newer ones just because I like ones that are fresh, maybe ones that someone hasn't covered before. I know this is a popular trend on YouTube, so I wanted to maybe have some new ones in the mix. Also, so these are real people that are writing this in, so there could be spelling, grammar mistakes, and reading out loud can come with a little bit of pressure. So please bear with me while I am reading this, doing my best here. So let's get into it. First one, am I the asshole for asking a guest to not crochet at my bachelorette party? So I'm a 28 female, getting married this year, yay, and went on my bachelorette party trip last weekend. The trip was in a cabin type setting where we all stayed in the same house. I have 3 bridesmaids, but also invited some friends to come along. Part of the group is my brother's girlfriend, 36 female, brother is 38 male, of 5 months, who isn't in the wedding party. She wasn't initially invited because I don't know her well and they live in another state. But my brother asked me to invite her as a favor to him. He said that she's never been invited to a bachelorette and likely never would be. I have no idea why, this is just what he told me, and hoped she could have this experience. Since people would be paying their own way and the group wasn't large, I figured why not? She seemed nice enough. The problem is that during the weekend, she would insist on crocheting all the time, even during our events and games. When I asked her to participate with us, she said that she took time off for the trip and wanted to make the most of her vacation by catching up on crochet projects, and that playing games and hanging out with my friends wasn't fun, and she didn't want to waste her days off. All her words, not mine. To be clear, I don't care that she wants to crochet in general. Most of our activities ended after dinner anyways, and we just hang out in the living room. I just asked her to save the crocheting for at night after the activities. My issue is that she was taking her crocheting with us to places like wine tasting, brunch, a museum tour, etc. It was super disrespectful in my eyes because she'd insist on coming yet wouldn't participate in the activity. Honestly, I was bothered that she was crocheting when we were playing bridal games, but at least she was in our living room. The trip's over now, but apparently she was super peeved that I asked to limit her crochet time, and my brother's been pestering me to apologize to her for ruining her trip. I personally don't feel like I should, because she shouldn't have come to a bachelorette party if she didn't want to do bachelorette things. But I also love, she means my brother very much, and I don't want this to come between us. I'm starting to doubt myself because his girlfriend sounds really annoyed with me. Please help. Edit. I wanted to add some details in case it helps, because I think some people think I'm being a bridezilla. Okay, so this is going to be, this sounds spicy. She was crocheting a throw blanket about the width of my entire arm span. That's what she was carrying with her to dinner, museums, wineries, etc. It wasn't some small thing the size of my palm. She also had the materials of the blanket with her, about 5 balls of yarn. I'm not sure what you'd call it, but each ball was about the size of a cantaloupe. It's called a skein. So I doubt she's watching this, but if you are, it's called a skein. We gave her the opinion, 2, we gave her the option to stay home. I told her I wouldn't be offended if this trip wasn't her style and she wanted to spend it crocheting, but she insisted on coming out with us on every single event. Number 3, even though my brother asked me to bring her, she admitted that she wanted to come and that she 3, even though my brother asked me to bring her, she admitted to me that she wanted to come and that she had asked my brother to ask me. 4, she doesn't have social anxiety. She just thought our activities were boring and a waste of her time. I mentioned this in another comment, but I overheard her calling my bachelorette a basic bitch bachelorette. But I didn't want to confront her because I didn't want to cause drama. 5, my biggest issue isn't that she wasn't giving me attention. Please, I'm a grown adult and already thankful for the friends giving me love and joy during the weekend. I just thought it was super rude to crochet such a big project during our group events. She literally brought her blanket to a museum and crocheted during a private tour. Okay, no, you're not the asshole. This girl is. Okay, look, I think most of us out there would love to be crocheting and knitting constantly everywhere. And maybe when we're doing kind of boring things like with friends or whatever, we're probably thinking to ourselves like, I could probably be crocheting right now, but we don't, because the whole point is not the activity that we're doing. It's to spend time together. And I also just don't understand this person, what her intentions were. Her intentions were just to crochet and not to spend time with anybody there. What annoys me too is that I'm assuming that the brother and this woman are in a serious relationship. If she's insisting on going to a wedding, she's insisting on going to a bachelorette, that would be my intentions. So wouldn't you want to spend this time getting to know the bride, hence your maybe sister-in-law or family member in the future, or somebody you're going to have to be spending a lot of time with? So shouldn't you put your hook down and oh my God, this, I really, listen, I think she does have some sort of social anxiety. Maybe she doesn't want to admit it. Maybe she doesn't want to come out and say it, but it's also really, really, really rude. It's really rude. I understand people that have social anxiety, like sometimes they can't go to certain things, but I feel like hiding behind that and just crocheting in somebody's face, it was basically like saying like, oh, you guys are my background TV as I'm crocheting, and not to ruin her trip. And also, I know this, the bride here wrote that, oh, she wasn't mad that she wasn't giving her attention. Okay, like I understand she didn't want to come off as like, oh, this is all about me, but it is all about her. It's a bachelorette. A bachelorette is about the bride. Okay. And if you're making it all about yourself and just crocheting, or you're just ignoring the bride, that's really, really crummy behavior. That is really rude and really hurtful. And I've gotten married. This didn't happen to me. But every time I go to a bachelorette, to any sort of, even a birthday, guess what? It's not about me wanting to crochet or knit. It's about the person. It's about spending time with the person and not being so freaking rude. Oh my God, I'm really heated about this. This one was really, wow. Oh my God. Yeah. And I don't think it's wrong for somebody at their bridal shower or at their bachelorette to expect people for it to be about them. I think that's justified. I think that's totally fine. You presumably only get this time once in your life. And yeah, it should be about you. I think like what you get, a bridal shower, a bachelorette, a wedding. I mean, that's probably like the most that you get, an engagement party if you do that. If you do any of those things, yeah, those days are about you. That time is about you. Especially since this is a small, intimate group. I've been on bachelorettes where there's a ton of girls. So it was kind of even hard for me to even chat with the bride. I mean, I didn't go out of my way to like, I didn't like try to only talk to them or only talk to her. But yeah, I'm at a bachelorette. I want to spend time with the bride. So yeah, like that's normal, especially since she wanted to go on this trip. No. It would not be me. Okay. I would have said, okay, well, you're not invited to anything. You can order food to your room and not be in our activities, because it's rude, because you're also ruining it for everybody else too. Gosh. And listen, I understand those Bachelorette games can be kind of annoying and they're kind of tacky, but isn't that the whole point? The whole point is that it's not about you. Whatever. Okay. Am I the asshole for having the same hobby as my friend? So for this, I'll refer to my friend as Fred. This will be quite the read. Oh, okay. Well, let me settle in. Okay. I met Fred during a time in my life where I was suffering mentally. I was in a very dark place. We hit it off at our old workplace and we exchanged socials. We didn't really speak nor run into each other as we worked different departments. However, a month goes by and I got worse. I had left my job as it was unsafe for me. Around this time, Fred had actually sent me a text and asked me to meet. From then on, me and Fred would confide in each other. We became so close that Fred was considered family and recognized as a son by my own mother. Skip forward about a year, I was recommended by my therapist to branch into different hobbies to help me output my emotions into something rather than holding it all together. I've seen Fred crocheting before, and as someone who loves crafts, I asked them about it, and they seemed excited that I showed interest. Okay. Fred had suggested that we go together to a craft store so I can buy supplies. He picked out my hooks, suggested yarn brands, and even offered to teach me. For the first time in years, I was excited about learning something new. I got home and looked up a ton of tutorials, starting with granny squares. Over time, I became addicted. I would very rarely go a single day without some sort of project in my hands. My therapist had noticed that I was doing much better. Around this time, I had met my fiance and was doing a lot better. Me and Fred would meet up often, spend hours chatting and working on projects together. I told Fred that I was interested in learning how to knit and to potentially start doing craft fairs. He seemed happy for me. However, that started to change after I started hearing from people that Fred had been saying I was copying him. I was a little hurt by this. He started talking to me less and then began posting about his copycats on his socials, saying things like how they can't be original and only deranged person would feel the need to copy someone else's hobby for their own gain. When I spoke to Fred about this, he told me that he was hurt because I had taken away a comfort from him, that I had taken something that was his and made it mine. I had said that if he was uncomfortable with me partaking in the same hobby as his, then why did he introduce it to me? Fred had told me he felt bad and went along with it. He then asked for me to stop crocheting around him and that he was uncomfortable with me posting about it as it takes his enjoyment out of the hobby. I said I would stop crocheting around him, but I have every right to post what I wish. We haven't spoken since and I'm confused. I fully believe if Fred didn't show me how to crochet, I would have discovered my love for it or my love for knitting either. It saved me from my own downfall. And I can only credit him. And I feel terrible for something I don't believe I was doing. I still post these things and still hear about being a copycat from people. I have changed things up now. I tend to only crochet AMI and bags. Oh, I think you meant amigurumi and bags and knit wearables. Fred does the total opposite. However, he has continued to post and slander me. Am I being selfish? Is there a way for me to fix this? I don't want to lose a friend over an argument about a hobby I thought we shared. Update: me and Fred are no longer friends. I took the decision to speak with Fred once again, and he doubled down. I decided that I was not going to keep stressing and worry about how I was going to save a friendship that was clearly not working anymore. Thank you for confirming that I was not going crazy and that I now am enjoying my hobby to the fullest without stress. Yeah, you're not the asshole at all. I mean, I don't know about copying. I'm glad that he wrote what things he crochets, because that could be something. I could see where somebody could be maybe a little frustrated. Like, let's say, I don't know, let's say I only knit socks. Let's say I've never knitted socks, but let's say I only knit socks, and I have a friend who then gets into knitting and then only also knit socks. But I don't even think I would care, because I think I would actually find that fun, because I would probably be like, okay, well, what pattern are you doing? Also, the level of how good somebody gets, it takes a while. So let's say I have been knitting and crocheting a long time. So I've been crocheting for, well, since my son was born, which isn't that long, about 3 years. And so okay, so I've been crocheting let's say I've been crocheting for 10 years. Let's just say that. And I have a friend and they start crocheting. There's no way that I would be like jealous or I would feel ownership over the craft, because there is just so much vastness in this craft. And believe me, when I first started crocheting, I was making like baby hats for my kids, and then I started doing things like tapestries. I only made one sweater so far. I've made so many different, like, there's so many avenues that you can go and so many styles that you can go in these crafts, which is what makes them so amazing. So I would just think that, oh, that person, yeah, they started knitting socks, but then maybe they'll end up knitting, I don't know, like wearables or something, like sweaters. Maybe they'll become like a really big sweater knitter. So I guess I wouldn't care. I mean, I can kind of relate to, like, this is mine because I'm an only child. So I think I tend, not that all only children are selfish, but I know for myself, I can be a little like, I'm unique and I'm the only one that can do this. But I think that this is weird to spoil a friendship, considering that you were so close over something like this. And usually people that are into crafts, they're into community. Like, you could go in on yarn, like, oh, hey, swapping like scraps of yarn and stuff. I don't know. This sounds silly. You dodged a bullet, I think, with ending this friendship. You're not the asshole. This guy is. And Fred, you need to learn to share, okay? Which is what I was told a lot growing up. So, wow. Do any of you feel that way? Like, if somebody's copying you, I don't think I would feel copying over crafting. I think I would feel like, I don't know, let's say somebody, I don't know, I'm trying to think of what I would be upset if somebody copying me. Let's say somebody copies my hairstyle, always copies my hairstyle. Then I would feel a little bit, because I feel like that's more like personal on my person. Or, yeah, then I would feel more annoyed, but I don't think I would be annoyed at somebody crafting too. Like, that's absolutely ridiculous. Okay. So next up we have, this is a kind of similar, I only skimmed these because I wanted to have like a fresh opinion. So you're getting like my raw reaction to these. So, am I the asshole for yelling at my wife for starting a hobby without me? Okay. Posting on a throwaway, as I'm not sure if she will see this. A couple of days ago, I, 28 male, and my wife, 26 female, went to a craft store. She found a good deal on big fluffy yarn. She has always said how she wants to make a big fluffy crochet blanket, so we got a few bundles. I learned how to crochet from my grandmother years ago. My wife has seen me crochet before and knows I know how to do it. She has suggested that I could teach her how to crochet after I am off work this weekend. She works a different shift than I do, so our schedules line up periodically. I was more than happy to teach her. Today, I got home from work and found the package in the trash. She worked a later shift today, so I didn't bother her while she slept. Then she woke up. When she woke up, I saw she had already started without me. She had been bored and decided she would try on her own. She said she messed it up after a few rows and will need to start again. I was very upset and angry. I keep I keep crocheting because my grandmother has since passed away, so I feel close to her every time I work on a project. This cut deeply. I feel betrayed and not like I was valued in this. She tried to downplay that it was a big deal, she tried to downplay that it was a big deal and that I was overreacting because I messed it up, so I'll have to start over again. And you can show me how to do it when I start over again. I was I was really looking forward to spending time with her and showing her a skill I learned from family. I'm confused if I did overreact and it's not as big as I am making it out to be. Any advice is much appreciated. Thank you for taking the time to read. Um, okay. I They said that he is the asshole here. And I don't really agree with that. I think that it isn't so much the crochet. It is mostly about bonding with your wife. It sounds like they have two different schedules and it sounds like they have very limited time together. So I I'm gonna go with, I don't think he's the asshole. I don't think either of them are. I think that's honest. Like she's like, I didn't think it was a big deal and I maybe got excited and then just started doing it. I don't think that's a big deal, but I can see how he would be upset by this. You know, this is something that sounds very cherished, that he is really into, and that he really wanted to kind of maybe show her. And also, I think also when you have a spouse, you kind of want to like, I don't know, like not show off, but maybe you want them to like see you in like a moment where you know what you're doing and to kind of, I guess maybe that's how I would take it. I hope he didn't actually yell at her. I hope that he expressed his feelings in a more healthy way. I don't think yelling is okay. Like that would make you an asshole. But I feel like his feelings, like what he's getting at, does not make him the asshole. He wants to connect with his wife, and there's also so many different stories. And I know from being married, me and my husband just celebrated our 4-year anniversary. So we've been married for 4 years, but we've been together for like 10. And it's just really funny to me how, especially having kids, how things that we probably wouldn't have discussed and that wouldn't have come up in different scenarios. And so I could see how he kind of was like, oh yeah, while I'm crocheting I can tell her that, I don't know, my grandma made me this meal and we ate this really delicious food, and I don't know, like I could see, oh, before my grandmother was crocheting with me, she made me soup and crackers, or I don't know, something that would would give context to the craft. So I don't think this guy's the asshole. I'm going to disagree with the internet here. Let me know what you think below. I could understand a spouse wanting to connect with their spouse, because you only get very precious time, even if you guys have the same schedule and you don't have kids and you do have a lot of free time. People like to spend time with their hobbies and do their own thing, and that bonding time, I could see like that's what intimacy really is. So no, I don't think you're the asshole, sir. And yeah. Okay, so final one, and it's a short one because I don't have my glasses on, so this is kind of hurting my eyes, but next time I'll have my glasses for these videos. So am I the asshole for not crocheting a blanket for someone I don't know? This is going to be easy. Hi, I am a 19-year-old female avid crocheter. I have been doing this roughly 5 years consistently. It's my favorite hobby. For context, I am currently in college. In my writing class, there is this girl who I have had maybe 5 full conversations with. We are 100% not friends or acquaintances. We are doing a compare and contrast essay on 2 random things. I chose to do types of yarn because I know it like the back of my hand. My teacher jokingly asked if I'm going to bring him a crochet blanket to show off for the class, and I was joking back. After class, this girl comes up to me and asks if I can crochet her a blanket for free because you do it all the time, so it can't be that hard. I laughed because I seriously thought she was joking. She was not. She got mad at me after I told her no, and then called me selfish. I told her I don't know her and I am not comfortable making her something like that. Some people in class are telling me to suck it up and just do it. She could stop complaining about the other half agree and think it's weird that she's asking me to do it. Am I the asshole here? I feel bad for saying no, but I don't owe her anything. Yeah, absolutely. You don't owe her anything. Period, end of discussion. You're not the asshole. What a weirdo. In fact, I'm going to also say like this might be a made up story because this is kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. I do understand though, again, like going back to people think that our crafts, like it takes us 10 minutes to crochet or knit up something, and absolutely not, it does not, so no, you're not the asshole. You don't know this person, you don't owe them anything, and they're also not offering to pay you anything for it. And even if they were paying you, I'm sure they would definitely undervalue you because they probably would think that, oh, it only here's $20 for the materials. Like your time is a finite thing. So nope, you are not the asshole. And anybody who says that you should just do it just to shut them up, okay, no. Do we make random things for random people that just because we feel obligated to? No. And if this girl is complaining about it, I mean, she can learn herself and do it herself. That's another thing too. If somebody is so adamant for you to make them something, tell them they can learn themselves. It's very simple. It's very easy to learn and to do themselves. So no, you're not the asshole, and that's that. So all right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know your thoughts below. Am I totally missing the mark here? Let me know. Let me know your opinions if you want to elaborate on that. All right, so thank you everybody for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts. I really enjoy doing these videos. I think it gives a lot of like food for thought. So let me know your thoughts down below. Follow me on all my socials and let's be friends. Bye guys.